Good morning, everybody. The sunlight is coming in a weird way, and it looks like there's like a thumb fingerprint on my phone. There's not. Casey Neistat was interviewed on some podcast the other day, and I don't really watch too much of his content, but I'm obviously very familiar with him. And someone reposted a clip of his interview on TikTok talking about words of advice for new content creators. And what one word of advice do you have? And it's something that I've talked about a lot recently in my journey as a content creator here on YouTube. 5 years, and I just hit 10,000. 5 years. I've been on TikTok for 4 years, so I joined TikTok a year later, um, and I hit 200,000 within a couple years. So YouTube, you got to be patient, and so it's something that in reflecting on, like, wow, I've hit 10,000 and it took 5 years. Um, Patience is a word that keeps coming up for me as well. And I'm going to relate what Casey said about patience in content creation to patience in the market, and I'm the stock market, because this is a money channel. My name is Kenneth, and I talk about money, finance, investing, day trading, swing trading. Um, so I'm going to try to link those two together because patience is key for both. Um, and so for me, as many of you know, my journey started because I had some friends who were interested in the markets. Um, I didn't join for the wrong reason. I didn't join because I wanted to be famous. I didn't join because I wanted to be an influencer. I think a big problem we see nowadays with content creation um, is people hear that there's money to be made. There are brand deals to be made. And the problem with good news is that when people hear good news, they rush to do it. So, hey, people are making a lot of money on brand deals being content creators on TikTok. All of a sudden, everyone's going, huh, huh, I've got opinions about politics. I'm going to be a TikToker. Or I've got opinions about dogs, or I'm a dog trainer. I'm gonna make dog training videos. Well, you're not the only one. There's lots of dog training videos. I'm an investor. I'm gonna make videos about the stock market. There's lots of stock content creators. And the problem is also, like I've said in previous videos, what we end up getting is information overload. Too many creators with too many opinions pile in and start sharing, and information overload for your audience makes it very hard to then make a decision. You have so many people watching so many different accounts going, well, I like this guy, but this person and that person, and they're all saying different things, and what do I do and who do I listen to? And usually when you get an influx of new people because they hear something is good, they're in it for the wrong reason. It's much like Hollywood. A car chase movie comes out and it breaks records, and everyone in the world goes to see this movie. The first thing Hollywood starts thinking is, we need to do a sequel, and every movie we make has to be a car chase movie. And what ends up happening, right? Because one car chase movie was very successful, every studio was like, we want our own, throw one in, now we have to have car chase, now we have to have a car chase. And you end up to the point where it's like enough car chases. But that's good old fashioned corporate greed and capitalism, and a desire for more and more profits, and it ends up ruining the first one because everyone says, oh, this one created all these other nasty, dumb, stupid spin-offs, and it ruined the space, and none of them are good anymore. And then the franchise, the movie with the one has to then become a friend. You know what I'm talking about? It just gets to be too much. And when we see when we're motivated for the wrong reason, when we're getting into car chase movies not because we have a good story or a good idea, but because that last one was very profitable, so we want to make one that's profitable. And it's not just for corporations, it can be for people too. And I get it. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that everything is expensive. Nobody can afford anything. You can't qualify to buy a house because you're not making enough money. So you have to rent, but the rent is... Do you hear that? The roofers are here. We're getting a new roof. And that totally derailed what I was saying. I've completely forgotten where I was going with this. Too many people making too many things, all similar, profits. What the hell was I talking about? That's why I need a teleprompter sometimes. So I feel like I can stray off course and come back to what I was saying, because I have absolutely no idea what I was talking about. Well, my intentions for joining social media were, everything is expensive. You can't buy a house, you have to rent a house. Renting a house becomes such a huge part of your salary. And it's just, when people hear that there's gold in them hills, they rush to it, whatever it is, because they need more money. And I get it, I understand that. But their motivation is not pure. Their motivation is money-based, and usually, for most people, not all, but for most people, when they're motivated by the wrong reason, in other words, I don't want to get on TikTok to help. I don't want to get on TikTok to share information and knowledge. I want to get on TikTok because I'm going to make money. The space gets oversaturated. There become too many creators with too many opinions, not all of them good, most of them garbage, especially if it's education based. You can sense the cash grab from a mile away. They stand in front of a Lamborghini that they rented with the fake money that they bought on Amazon, a Rolex watch that they're borrowing from their friend's uncle. And they're saying, hey, I just started stock trading and I'm going to teach you everything I've learned. Buy my course. You can have a Lamborghini like me. And they're getting on for the wrong reason. And they end up leaving very quickly. I cannot tell you how many content creator accounts have popped up in the finance space because they heard it was the most lucrative, which I don't think is true. I think it's beauty and I think it's fitness. But there was this reputation for a while that the finance space was the most lucrative because that's where all the big banks and the brokerages and the crypto accounts were coming from with their huge money to hire content creators. So all of a sudden, overnight, everyone is a finance expert making finance videos about the markets, investing, day trading, fast profits, buy my course, fast profits. And so many people were doing it for the wrong reason. And you could see there was this surge of new accounts during COVID because everyone was day trading. All of a sudden, tons of stock trading courses started being sold. Wrong reason. They weren't trying to help, they were trying to profit. And they probably made a lot of money, or many of them probably didn't. And they've all left. All the accounts are gone. You have to be passionate about what you're doing before you start looking at it for money. I never joined social media thinking this was going to be a job, a career. I never thought I'd be pitching brands and getting signing contracts for 6-month brand deal contract. I never thought any of that would happen. That wasn't why I joined. And this patience theme, it's similar for investing in the stock market. So many people come to the markets thinking, I'm going to buy this stock and I'm going to get really, really rich, really, really fast. And they'll usually reference a stock that they've heard of. They'll say, like, for example, GameStop and AMC. They'll say, like, oh, I missed out on GameStop and AMC. What's the next one? You're already thinking in the wrong frame and in the wrong mindset. That's a great way to lose all your money. Now you'll go around on various accounts on social media and you'll start asking. And the honest, good content creators in finance will try as hard as possible to steer you away from high risk speculative garbage. And the bad ones will tell you what stocks they think are the next ones to rip. Even maybe not the content creators, but in people in the comments. Someone might, it happens to me all the time where someone will say, what's the next whatever? And I give like a long detailed explanation and they ignore it. And then someone comes in and goes, this company. And the guy who asked the question goes, thanks. And I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna listen to this total stranger versus like the investing educator. So it goes, right? People want the fast money. They don't want to put in the patience and the work and the time to learn for themselves. Content creators, same way. They don't want to put in the time and the effort because they're here motivated by the wrong thing. You can look at comments on any video that I do about the S&P 500, any index fund video that I do about long-term investing. They say, that takes too long. Nobody has the patience. And so unfortunately, they're all hyper-focused in the now. They want the big money now, the big portfolio, the successful influencer career. They want it now. They don't want to wait. They obviously don't have the patience, they end up giving up. And that's when I say, as an investor, if you're coming into the markets because you want to make lots of money, start with the boring stuff first. Get that good foundation down first. Talk about it all the time. Get the good foundation down first. That way, you learn how markets work. You realize that this is here for later, and all this other stuff can be for now. Your job, your career, that app you're working on, whatever your side hustle is, or whatever passion project you have, or whatever dream or fantasy you have about making lots of money, that can be over here. But at least in the background, have the patience to let this money start working for you slowly over time, because you are going to turn 60, hopefully. And you do not want to be the person going on the TikTok of the future 20, 30, 40 years from now saying, I never invested, I really want to retire, I have nothing, what do I do? Those are the worst DMs. I get them all the time. I get them all the time from some guy saying, I'm 60, my knees hurt, my hips hurt, my lower back is killing me, I have low energy, I'm so tired, I really want to retire, but I never invested. What do I do? Man, you're screwed. That's what you do. I'm sorry. I hate making those videos. I make them a lot. I mean, I'll do video responses and I'll show the breakdown of like, oh, you're 55? If you're 20, watch this video. Maybe if I can find it, I'll put it in on this YouTube video right now so you can watch it. But I say, you know, this is how much you're going to need at 55 to end up with enough money to retire. AKA, you ain't gonna get it. It's not there. It's not gonna happen. Because you need so much. It's thousands per month to invest. You know, at that point, you just don't invest and live off the cash that you have and hope that you have enough. You know, that's really a terrifying scenario. And a lot of these people don't have cash. This is a story I've told before, but my friend's mom calls and she goes, I want to retire. I'm getting close to that age and I'm thinking it's time to start planning. And I was like, time to start planning? You don't have any investments? She was like, no. I was like, do you have any savings? She was like, no. She was like, I just bought a house too. First time, isn't that great? And I was like, no. How much was your rent? She tells me what the rent was. I say, how much is your mortgage, utilities, homeowner's insurance? It's near double. I said, how are you going to retire and continue to pay that? She goes, you know, I hadn't thought about that. I said, you know, you're paying almost double. Of course, my camera runs out of memory in the middle of that story, so I'm back. I said, you're paying more than double to own, and it was costing you less to rent. You should have just kept renting at that point, you know? And she was like, oh, no, I didn't think of that. So anyway, we start talking. She says that she's ready to get into the market. She's ready to start investing. And I say, hey, that's great. How much do you have to invest? And she goes, I have $500. And I go, oof. $500 every month at 62 years old, you know, and we're talking through all this, and she goes, no. I don't have $500 every month. I have $500, period. So give me a stock. And I was like, oh, that's not, you know, you know, these are the stories that I hate to tell. I was on the phone. I said, you're going to die before you pay off your mortgage. You have a 30-year mortgage. You're 62. Like, you know, and you have no money. You have no money. And you can hear it. And when I get DMs from people who say, I'm 60, I'm 55, I make videos and I say, and I feel bad because I'm kind of calling them out and I'm kind of blasting them publicly. But I'm saying, like, to the 20-year-olds, don't be like this guy. Don't be the 55, 60-year-old messaging the finance creator going, what can I do? Be the 20-year-old who's starting, patient, index funds, tech, growth, dividends, S&P 500, real estate over here. And all that I want to get rich now can be over here. But have a little bit working in the background for you. You won't regret it. Nobody ever, there's not a single 60-year-old who regrets having more invested. I promise you. I promise there's not a single 60-year-old who says, I wish I bought that Lamborghini when I was 20. I don't know any. So anyway, hope you thought this was helpful. I hope you learned something. Please be patient. No matter what it is that you're getting into, please be patient. good things take time. I've been on social media for 5 years. I started on YouTube, got an Instagram account to help promote the YouTube channel. Neither one of those grew to the point where I was going to quit. And a friend said, get on TikTok. And I never looked back. TikTok, like I said, almost 220,000 followers on TikTok. But Instagram and YouTube never grew. But I stayed patient with them because good things take time. 5 years, I hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Just on December 8th, just a few days ago. Within the last 3 or 4 days, my Instagram account has gone from 2,800 followers, subscribers, to over 5,700 in just the last 2 days. Hard work, you gotta stay with it. The amount of TikTok accounts where people pop up and they DM me and say, hey, could you promote my account because I want 200,000 followers? And I'm like, who are you? What have you done? I don't know you. You haven't put in the work. You know, I'll work with you and I'll help you, but I'm not just gonna start pumping up your page. And they go, well, I never made it because that guy didn't promote me. I'm gonna help whoever I can help, but first put in the work. Let me see you're serious about this before I start helping. And those are the accounts that just drop off right away because they wanted someone else to make them big so they could make money. It didn't happen. Their patience, they had no interest. They didn't have any dedication. They weren't in it for the right reasons. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether it's finance, being a content creator, or whatever else, patience. Stick with it. Don't give up. All right, I'm gonna jump off. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.